Homestead Citadel. We're planning to spend some time away from the farm here soon. We'll be well back by the time this gets published, just with our editing and publishing schedule. But one of the peace of mind things that I like to do before leaving the farm for any extended amount of time is making sure my fences are hot and the cows respect them and everything like that. So I've been spending a good bit of time here this weekend to ensure that the fences are in good order, so one less thing to worry about when we're gone. And one of the things that we didn't do for the first 5 years or so, or at least I didn't do for the first 5 years or so of having a farm, was get away. It was really hard because a lot of those processes were something that I was primarily responsible for. Katie didn't do them, and we didn't really trust having a farm sitter come in and do it for us. But now that we've kind of standardized things, and what we do is not super unique anymore necessarily, we're able to have friends or neighbors come, and all they have to do is a quick check on things or whatever to make sure everything's in good order. So we've been able to develop and refine those systems over the past couple of years to allow us to step away for some much needed time off the farm. As you can see, it's pretty insane. And this is what's behind me is what had some cow pressure probably going on about a week ago. I'll go back down and turn the fence on. The other piece to this is water. So the other side of the farm where we showed that drone footage and had the cows in that one spot for an entire week, well, that whole field, it's 4 acres or so. That whole field is where I'm just going to throw the cows and let them graze for the entire week while we're away. And in order to facilitate that, I need to make sure that I have water, good clean water, set up for them. So my plan, I think yesterday or the day before, I went and took a male quick connect for our irrigation system and drained that tank, because that tank's been sitting idle for a little bit more than a month now since we did that. And I like to have fresh, cool water, although it's not too hot anymore, but you never know what's in the tanks at this point. So drain that all out, probably throw a little bit of bleach in there to kill anything that's left over, and then I need to flip the valve to start filling that up again. So I'm gonna go turn the fence on and get over there and do that stuff next. Alright, I went over to the lowest female quick connect point and pulled my male quick connect, so that's out, so now we can fill it up. I went ahead and changed the valve so it's open now, and I don't know that we've showed it before on the channel or not, but this is a little makeshift pond from a spring that is what we use to pull water out. We have a RPS solar pump in here that runs on DC direct from solar power that pumps water back up to tanks at the top. So the tank on this hill on this side is now filling up. And actually, since the tank on the other side is higher, the water from that tank is actually coming over to help facilitate the filling of the lower tank. So it should only be maybe an hour or two with a sunny day like today. So I'll go get a little bit of bleach and make sure this tank is clean and good to go. And I think the cows are demanding an early move today. The past couple days they've been in some pastures that are heavy on ragweed, and I don't think they particularly care for that. Alright, sounds like she's filling up pretty good. Water's flowing strong. Almost full. Each of these tanks holds about 250 gallons when it's full. I mean, they're rated for 275, but this one especially has a float on it that, you know, we lose a little bit of capacity from that. But then there's also the line, the pipe that has to be accounted for. So yeah, she's filling up nice. Time to go move the cows. Alright, cow moves are done. This is what they're leaving behind. As you can see here, right next to me, there's quite a bit of ragweed left over. I think they can only handle or tolerate so much of it. And these couple of fields are heavier, like heaviest, easily, for us with ragweed, because this is the area. I mean, it's probably been 3 years now since we had pigs, but this is the area that they would have been rooting the worst. So it's still, I think, in the recovery process even all these years later. And the ragweed is a big part of that recovery with the taproot and everything that it has to help rebalance the soil profile and everything after the pigs were gone. But you know, progressively, you know, previous days, as I walk down the hill here, the ragweed definitely seems worse in the pasture that they were on today and yesterday, and then a little bit the day prior to that. So I think that's contributing to them being more vocal, but I also think it's the time of year. I find that like the pass after the spring flush is still good, but then the second pass after that is, they're starting to complain because I think the pasture quality is starting to decrease and they're not liking it. We hit every pasture about 6 times a year. But yeah, cow moves are done now, so let's go see what's next. I almost forgot the update from the end of last week's video. This is our garlic powder harvest from 6 full trays of garlic that we processed. Put it in, well, frankly, whatever jars we had left, because we are now fresh out of the quart jars. So we got 2 quart jars. This is probably a little bit more than a pint in this Mylar bag. 3 pint jars, 2 more pint jars that are already upstairs, and then 22 half pint 8-ounce jars. So I mean, I'm looking at like a lifetime supply of garlic, so maybe I'll never have to peel another garlic clove in my life. That would be really nice. But yeah, just wanted to give you an update real quick on the freeze dryer process that we did with the garlic. That took probably well over 30 hours. It's been a few days since we did that. I don't remember exactly how long it took, but it was It was quite a long freeze-dry process. Alright, a lot has happened in the past couple of days. First and foremost, gave myself a little haircut. And I do it myself, and then Katie, she cleans it up a little bit. But I got the 3 drawer pulls finished, so they're ready for paint. This is actually all ready for paint. And I started working on the top. Next thing to do would be to cut it down to size so that I don't have to sand the entire thing. In the process of doing that, I destroyed the jointer motor, so I need to figure out what's wrong with that. It was very, very hot. And then I also, let me see what I do. I destroyed the pulley on the motor for this old table saw, so I need to fix that as well. That's an easier fix. So there's that. So the big job was actually out here on the farm. You know, in order to get ready to go on vacation, I went around with the bicycle grip weed eater and cleaned up probably like 4,000 feet of perimeter fence. And let me tell you, that was brutal. I had some stuff that was way up over my head again. Yeah, that's not fun, but let's get on the drone and take a quick fly around and see what stuff looks like. Alright, start here at the livestock barn. Went around and cleaned up the fencing around the perimeter pen. So basically I just started with where the electricity was, you know, the source obviously being here at the barn, and just kept going. So went there on the left. I've been keeping that pretty clear just because the grass grows up on top of it very quickly. And then going up the hill here. This wasn't too bad. I mean, this section of fence has been in for, you know, it's probably one of the first ones I put in, and it's in pretty good shape. Going up over the row of trees that separates the front field from the back field. And then what was interesting back here, this is netting along this row of trees here. This netting, since it's the closest to the source of electricity, all of this netting with the fence energizer, the weeds were burned off of it. So I really didn't have anything that I had to do here, which was awesome. And then this is what I finished. This 1,000-foot run from a couple months ago that I finished. This is what I finished last night. Down through those trees was actually very easy. There's not much growing there, but as you can imagine, being out in the open, this was getting pretty brutal. This section in particular here wasn't as bad just because the cows have been in there grazing it, so it was actually fairly open. But over here where the cows are at currently was a different story. I'm hoping that by getting a grip on things this year, it won't be as bad next year. You know, as the grasses start to move in. So down through here was pretty bad. This steep hill was actually not too bad. And then I didn't bother doing this 500-foot run that I just finished because, you know, it's still in pretty good shape, and the cows will be back over there here for this week. But I did need to go down here along the road and then around the neighbors, which was, especially there under those big pine trees next to their house, that was pretty bad. That took a little bit. And then the last place I finish up is down here along the creek, and what I do for that is I'll just take the netting out completely and then used the tractor and brush hog to clean that up. Under that willow tree there on the left, that first one, that was pretty bad as well. I need to get in there and clean that up. I want to cut that willow tree up. These Austrian willows are just getting absolutely massive. I need to cut more of them back. And then it finishes up here along the driveway. I did the same method, just pull the netting out and run the brush hog. It's easier work that way. But yeah, that's the fence clearing job. You kind of get a nice overhead visual of our pasture setup. We do keyline, so it's similar to contour farming, but it's a little bit more deliberate and intentional with water flow movements and such. It's a basis, more than anything for us, it's a basis for planting trees, which is in those shelter tubes that you see on those lines. Alright, I'm going to finish up by working on the countertop, but no need to bore you with that. I'll give you an update when it actually looks nice and goes on the cabinet. But for those that have been sticking around watching us every week, we really appreciate it. If you could do us a favor of like, comment, and subscribe, that would be awesome. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Take care. Have a good one.